Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, we're good there. Terpster, give me a little something. Say something for me.
Something saying hello.
You're
blah,
fine.
blah 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 blah.
You're
Like
good.
that. Okay.
You're great. Dills, you're good. Everyone's good.
Is the stream online or offline? Because I'm seeing it as offline.
Oh. Are you kidding? I hadn't run that the whole time. I'm a giant fool. Okay, now it's running.
Did you think you were streaming and you were not?
I thought I was streaming that whole time.
Oh, okay.
Shows what I know. I had all this nice music going, and I thought people were, nice and comfy and just digging in, and didn't realize we weren't streaming that entire time. Fantastic.
Here. I think some people in the chat room were listening to the music, but they were doing it on like the mobile something.
Oh yeah, the mobile stream was up. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm a dumbass. All right, here we go then. Let's start so that we have tea for as long as we have tea.
Go.
All right, here goes. And Duncan and whoever else is there. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, here goes. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
I eat babies.
You're listening to The Instance.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Instance. This is The Instance, the World of Warcraft podcast, so you don't have to, episode 385. It is Friday, October 10th, 2014, and we are quite literally 1 month away from the end of BlizzCon 2014. Good times. I'm joined today by Terpster. Hey, Terpster.
Hello. That's crazy. Is it really just a month away?
Yeah, well, a little less than a month now, so it'll
because
be...
that's the scary thing is that, Warlords is out in just over a month.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be a Thursday, strangely.
Well, in a in kind of a meaningful way, on Tuesday you'll be getting a lot of that game. So yeah, we're there, man. It's the wire. It's time to get off the pot or poop, as they say, as the kids say.
I think
what
that
are you going to do? Are you going to get off the pot, or are you going to poop?
Something like that.
Have you elected what you're going to do yet?
Quit smoking pot. It makes you poop. Also with this, of course, Dills. Dills, hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'm actually a little bit freaked out that this stuff is all coming, and I don't feel prepared. Honestly, I am not prepared.
You are not prepared.
And but I guess I have a month to get prepared. So.
4 expansions too late. Whatever. It's still an important.
To be honest with you, it's true though. I feel less prepared now than I do for when Burning Crusade came out.
Now, why do you say that? Explain.
Just because, back then I had a lot more time and I'd kind of completed the game. Vanilla was around for a long time. With this now.
Time, yeah.
Exactly. Now, kind of knowing that you're going to be moving on, and it's like, well, I never got that mount, and I guess I didn't do that rep, and I could have tried to do that quest, and I didn't do this. And obviously, there are certain things that are going, and so if you've got a warlock and you haven't done the green fire quest, you don't get you're not going to get achieve.
Did you do the cloak? Did you do the cloak around this time or no?
No, that's the thing. I haven't. That's the thing. I never bothered with it. And the thing is for me. It's silly because I'd never had the same sort of impetus as I have with previous legendaries where they felt very rare and awesome and like bragging rights. Yeah. Whereas for me, the cloak, wherever I go, that's all I saw. And because I wasn't raiding, there was no real kind of massive need for me to do it. It looked okay. It's quite fun. And all of the Gaze of the Black Prince stuff going on over the past month or so, I was tempted. Yeah. But I've just kind of decided not to.
The temptation was never quite enough. It was never enough to sort of supersede my schedule. Like there's so much going on right now for me that I'd say, oh, it's a little easier now to get it with him gazing so much longer or whatever. And I thought, well, maybe now's my time. And then I don't know. I got 500 million other things to do. And
you know what I did? I logged in and I started doing some stuff, and I was like, I don't care enough. And I was like, I want to care.
You still have till launch. It turns out of the expansions if you want to do it. So
it was going to extend past.
If you started it,
6.0.2.
yes. If you've started it before Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, as long as you have started the quest, you can
And are they going to keep the gaze over the next 4 weeks?
Oh, that I don't know.
Is that going to disappear?
That I don't know. You know how Blizzard feels about them gays.
And what? Gaze with a Z. So I just had people walked into this, and everyone's like, "Sorry, what? Are they going to keep the gaze?" the gaze of the Black Prince. They're gonna hopefully keep that. Then that'd be good.
The social relevance of our show.
Any better?
Yeah,
that really actually doesn't sound any better.
No.
Hearing half a conversation.
No, there's some context needed when you talk about the black gaze.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so I think you still have a chance, I guess, if you've started it, and I've started it, and maybe I'll do that, but it doesn't seem like I'm that motivated. I don't know. I mean, once it's gone. It's a thing you can look back on, I guess, and go, yeah, remember that thing we did?
And like I said, currently you can't transmog legendaries so that they still remain special. So at the same time, you will reach a point where it's not best in slot, obviously. Yeah. But I think it's still going to be really good for leveling. So
sure, no, absolutely, it'll give you a little bit of a leg up, but I don't feel like I'm going to be penalized for not having it. So I guess that's really the thing. It's just...
Exactly, yeah. And like I said, it's weird. And I think doing the ring quest on the beta, everyone's going to have it. But because it's not visual as much, there's effects and stuff that when you use stuff. But it's because it's just a ring. Yeah. I think actually I feel a bit better about getting it. I felt like it was a little bit too generic. The cloaks, everywhere you look, they're there. I mean. As an avid, I think he's got it twice, haven't you? You done it twice?
No, I didn't get a second one.
Oh, you just did it the once.
Just got one.
Yeah, but that sounds like the thing to do. Is once you've got one, you at least said you
Anyone
could do
can
it.
do it. Apparently, it's easy.
Right.
Apparently,
well, if Simon did it, geez.
Exactly. Yeah, it can't be that hard, can it?
Good Lord. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, except to say this. I think as an avid Diablo player. Seeing something in that game when you pre-ordered the expansion and everyone got that thing wings deal behind it, whatever you call that. I can't think of what you call it. Anyway, that thing is it was so reminiscent of what the cloak effect is that I feel like it doesn't seem important. I know this is a weird thing. It's just a visual cue for me when I see it and go, oh yeah, like everyone got in Reaper of Souls. I've seen that a billion times.
I think all I would say is I think that if Blizzard were to create a legendary for people who raided that was really cool, and then I think they've kind of got it right with Warlords by having the legendary that everyone else gets be non-visual in the ring. Yeah. I think that's the right way of doing it because it feels less legendary. It's the nature of it. It's why they made legendary drops so rare and hard to get in the past. Is they wanted them to feel really special, and it's a very tough line to do. And Blizzard always has the trouble of trying to make things feel epic and special, but at the same time accessible. And those don't often go hand in hand. Yeah. So it'd be interesting, but yeah, crazy. Well, patch next week, crazy.
The Simons of the world rejoice. You got your damn cloak.
You know what's funny is the cloak didn't matter to me at all, and yet the Sky Golem I couldn't wait to get. Everybody has the Sky Golem, but I had to have it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really even know what the line is that made.
Well, maybe just it appealed to a different sensibility to you or something.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the other thing, too, is that goes across all my characters. Now I suddenly have a Sky Golem on everybody.
Oh,
so
yeah, good point.
That was pretty sweet.
The legendary cloak quest line had some really cool epic moments to it. And, I got down the path, getting the gem and seeing the Black Prince.
Yeah, I got all the gems and
kind of, doing his little kind of in-game scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you see Khadgar doing it in Warlords, it's so much better. Yeah. It's a much more expansive, really like a real experience as well. The quest is the legendaries almost just happens to be there. The quest is you bring down the Shadow Council and Gul'dan and stuff. You're going up against some major characters in the story and doing all sorts of really amazing stuff. So it's one that you want to do regardless. And the fact that you get a really cool drop at the end of it is amazing. Or incrementally upgrade your ring as you carry on. So, like I said, I kind of feel like they've got it really right this time. Yeah. But then again, that's pretty much what we say every single expansion.
Well, it is because and this has been their challenge, right? Like I feel like in a weird way, the cloak thing. They can't win because before the cloak it was legendaries are too hard and we would all like to be able to get them easier. Okay, well great. Here's a way for you all to get it easier. It's got an epic quest line with a bunch of story and a bunch of other stuff and you all have the opportunity to get it. And now players are like, it's too easy and it's too common and I don't know.
But it was still pretty time consuming though.
I mean, it
didn't just pop out at the end of it but it was I don't know. Yeah, it was easier.
You know what I mean, though? It's like there's got to be a magic middle, and maybe what Terpster's saying about that ring is the magic middle, and people will find the magic middle. Like on every Oreo I've ever eaten, it's right there in the middle. He's gotta aim for the middle, baby. That's where it's at.
I mean, I guess if the legendary cloak quest line had something to do with the main storyline more, like it was more involved in it, and I felt like I had to do it just because of that, I would have done it. But it seems peripheral almost in a way.
Yeah, it's weird. I think because the Black Prince wasn't really correctly placed in Pandaria because it's kind of
like I felt like I had to go out of my way. I had to go out of my way to find him and figure out what to do and all of that, and it wasn't like part of what I was already doing. Just an extra thing to do.
I think, for example, if you had Garrosh issuing it for the Horde and Verin Rin for the Alliance, and it was about taking Pandaria, or if it was Lawwalker Cho and you had to do all these other things, they're characters you encounter quite a bit throughout the leveling experience. Whereas the Black Prince is very much sort of a guy you meet in a mountain pass and then go on this sort of discovery journey. But like I said, it was cool. It's a good thing, but I think, like I said, the upcoming expansion I think handles it a bit better.
Well, that's good. I never even did much. Well, I get so far in that in the beta and go, ugh, I don't want to see all this, and I got out. But you clearly went deeper.
Yeah, well, no, that's the problem. Is I did that as well, and then I went back because I did want to see it, and now I do regret it because I'm gonna have to do it all again.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But it was a good experience, right? You don't mind.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much stuff, and I think, like I said, the amount of time you're gonna have to pour into garrisons anyway to really get the most out of them. I don't think I'm gonna be pressed for. I don't think I've spoiled too much of the content. There's so much to do that I still haven't done. That I can't wait.
Well, while I've been between things, I've been running a lot of Greater Rifts, but also played a chunk of Heroes of the Storm, which finished its week-long server down outage thing.
Much gone for a while.
And
sad for people.
Yeah, they're doing like with Hearthstone during its alpha/beta stages, saying no more wipes, no more progression wipes. So if they are to be believed, anything you put into that game now, any money you spent before could still be spent again as in-game currency, but the any progression you make, any character leveling you do, all that kind of stuff will now retain itself throughout the cycle of the game in theory. And that excites me because I really like that game, and I was having kind of the same sort of alpha beta problem where I didn't want to lose all my progress, and now I don't have to. So I'm kind of
get on in there,
back in and excited again for.
And there's a bunch of new heroes that are really fun. There's a lot of stuff going on in the game. I think
do you still get the thing if you buy something? Do you get the special mount?
The little
the rainbow unicorn thing.
Yeah. I think you still get it if you.
I think that's like part of a package or whatever. Now I don't think it's just like, did you buy something? Here it is.
Well, it was.
I thought it was like a shiny Mecha Talk sort of thing. Is it not like that? They not done that?
No, it was, but it was for if you. I think it was if you had spent money during the technical alpha before this maintenance.
Oh, but now you can just buy it. Anyway.
Now you can just buy it. Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Well, there was these packages too they're doing for a while. So I haven't bought anything from the store in a while. I already had a lot of stuff, and then the wipe happened, and so I haven't logged in since that.
Yeah.
But I'm not exactly sure. They've changed it so many times in that game. Yeah. Exactly how it all works.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Uther Lightbringer still telling me how to do a tutorial, so none of that changed. Oh, I was going to say this about it. So I played the. This is just a side note, but I played the Demon Hunter lady. Forgot her name.
No, if you have Diablo, I think you get the Demon Hunter too.
Yeah, I got her that way. Yeah. And so I went in there and I played her. I thought, well, they gave it to me. I'll play it. It's a little weird because I'm trying to. I'm seeing a Demon Hunter, and I'm trying to play her like I play her in Diablo, and it doesn't work the same at all. In fact, right click and left click are different. Like,
first of all, don't rush in there like you do in Diablo either.
Right,
you will just die, and then your teammates will be very mad at you.
And it throws me off. Like even her vault ability, which I have equipped on my Demon Hunter in Diablo, my seasonal. You just hit it and he goes in whatever direction you're aiming the mouse. And this, you got to hit it, and then you got to, and it's a different key first of all, and then you got to point your arrow in the direction you want to go, and then single left click to have her go. It's an odd experience when you played a ton of Diablo and then you jump into Heroes of the Storm and you pick up that character. It's very odd.
Have you seen any of their kind of character trailers? The latest ones have just been absolutely amazing.
They're fantastic.
They did a Nubarak one,
yeah,
and the amount of time and effort that's gone into just basically a character announcement trailer that, as far as I'm aware, just kind of went up on YouTube. I don't think was for any specific events.
No.
But was up there with some of their best stuff they've done. Really,
Yeah.
it's really really smart,
and
clever.
They need to do
this.
They really need to do this because to me, this is what Blizzard needs to trade on the currency at play here, and the currency at play here is the notoriety and the lore behind these characters and the nostalgia you feel for all of them. So for them to play that card is really, really important, I think. So yeah,
Equally,
I'm all for
obviously,
that.
we've heard, we've seen the rumors that Warcraft 3 is coming to the Battle.net launcher, and we're going to be able to play that game again.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting because obviously Heroes of the Storm has a lot of Warcraft 3 units and characters in it.
Yep.
That I was, part of me was hoping that they were going to maybe redo Warcraft 3 in Heroes of the Storm, but it looks like based on the logos and in-game stuff we've seen, that it's just going to be a works on Windows 7, 8 and stuff version of Warcraft 3.
I feel like I'm ready to play that again. I think I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, it's a bit clunky, isn't it? When you compare it to
it absolutely
current
is.
day.
It looks crazy.
It's their first 3D effort ever was that game.
Yeah.
And that shows a little bit. And, things were a little rough in 2002, 2003, whatever it was. Didn't quite have our hands on it. So, yeah, I mean, if what you're saying, I agree with. If this was a facelifted client that you just had to have a key for or even buy again, I don't care. I'll, $20, I'll do it. That would be awesome, but I don't think that's what this is. I don't
feel like they're
too big a project.
It's not willing. Yeah, they're not willing to put the work into that. They might as well make Warcraft 4, something like that. If they're gonna do.
Yeah, well, later in the show, I have a theory about something. We'll get to that in the news. That's related to that.
Theories, guys.
Also, real quick, I'm excited not only for the patch, but also in the next week or so, there should be an interview going up on the feed with Corey Stockton, which is kind of a tradition lately.
Oh, wow.
Our last few years, when there's been a new expansion, Corey will come on the show and we'll talk. Go
about
deep.
Nintendo games.
Yeah, about Nintendo, 3DS.
Yeah, exactly. Can't wait to hear about you and
Stick to the subject, damn it.
Nintendo games. You've
Yeah.
been playing that Smash Bros. It's going to be like, oh, this is fantastic, Scott. I'm really glad.
Corey's that kind of guy. He'll be like, everyone's talking about what's going to happen at BlizzCon, and his private messages on Twitter to me will be, dude, don't forget to bring Animal Crossing because I've got stuff I need to trade you fruit or whatever. Like that is kind of how he rolls. But I am sure, 100% sure, given how much stuff was on his plate for this expansion, we will talk a lot about World of Warcraft, so don't worry.
Okay.
That's
coming. The trolls are out in full force about sticking to the subject on all the shows I do. So
Have you noticed that? Real uptick.
Guys,
you just got to appreciate the enjoyment.
Barking up the wrong tree here. I think if you're looking for shows where you just stick to the subject, then you probably don't even want a show. Actually, you just want to read patch notes.
Yeah, go read a patch page. That's fun for you. So Terpster, you've been just all in on Hearthstone still.
Yeah, the problem is I forgot that October happened, so I was like, crap. So I logged in and I started off, and because I only got to 20 last season, just because I was like, I just want the card.
So you had to go all the way back, pretty much.
So I had to. I think it put me like kind of rank 18 or something like that. Yeah. But then I kind of got into it again, which was quite messy. So I started playing a hunter kind of death rattle deck with Undertakers, exactly, and it was very fun and very, very potent. So so I just jumped right in again and just lost myself in that, and it was scary actually because I thought I'd moved on from it. I thought I'd kind of got to a place where I could have a healthy relationship with Hearthstone, and it didn't have to be very bingey and very sort of obsessive. But yeah, I think I'm like rank 12 now, so I need to put that down.
Well, that's well, whatever. It's if you love it, you do it. You keep going.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Why not?
I think like the patch dropping next week. Hopefully, that'll be a better distraction.
Yeah, because all the stuff I have a hard time. Like once you play that beta, and then you get all these new skills and all the prunes and everything that's just changed, and you kind of get the hang of it, and you really start liking some of it. It's really hard to go back and play a thing that isn't out yet.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
Yeah.
So Tuesday's a big day.
Tuesday is going to be a huge.
The reagent bank not being in there is the thing that does make me like, this is
weird, right?
No,
But I'm telling you, Tuesday is like half the new game. I mean, in a lot of ways, not half, but there's a huge
new
portion.
Models.
Yeah, new models. The new
Black
the new
Spire.
all the new what am I trying to say? The new systems and freaking spell changes and everything.
Oh, like gameplay stuff. Obviously.
Yeah, all
but,
that
like,
stuff's
the
in
fact
there.
We can do Ubers, which straight away, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
I'm till the actual expansion drops, we can actually start playing around in the new instance and dungeon. That's amazing. Cannot wait.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Dills, you've been every time I check on you, it's feverish baseball fever going on.
I mean, yeah, this is so every other year. This is what happens to me in October, and it's bad for my liver. It's bad for my. I feel like I've got ulcers that clearly just popped up.
Right.
They'll
fine. Leave before spring training. Yeah. Those will subside.
It's all worth it because if the Giants can win it all, then I get to pour champagne on myself, which is not something you get to do all the time.
No.
At least you could do it all the time, but people wouldn't support you in it. People wouldn't stand around and cheer it happening.
Yeah.
And when the Giants win the World Series, you get to do that.
Depends on the circumstance, but
it depends on what kind of crowd you run with, I guess. But I could publicly in the streets, in the middle of a busy street, I could just dump alcoholic beverages over my head, and people will stand around and cheer it if the Giants win the World Series.
That's awesome.
Hoping that gets to happen. But I did the other night after we won the division series. I came home and I said, okay, we got our Hunter Pence, we got our Hunter Strickland, we're the Giants. I'm going to make a Hearthstone Hunter Giants deck.
Oh, wow.
And
wow.
So it's a Hunter deck. Well, it's a Hunter deck. It's got all the Giants in it. And then it's got we got Matt Cain, so I put in Arcane Shot, obviously. We have the Kung Fu Panda, so I got Lore Walker Cho in there.
Oh, good.
And it's actually not that bad. I won a few games. It's not good, but it's not that bad because I got stuff like Sea Giant. I can play, Unleash the Hounds and just load the board up, and the Sea Giant costs 1 or 2 mana. Yeah. Molten Giants, I oftentimes am getting my butt kicked. Yeah, so I get those for free. Yeah. And then Mountain Giants, I just put in a bunch of card draw. So sometimes I just fill my hand up.
Protectors or anything to?
Yeah. You got to have Sun Furies and Defenders, obviously, because.
I mean, is there a way to make that about baseball?
Well, Defenders, you play defense, so
that's good. I like that.
Right.
Sold.
Okay.
Sun Fury Protectors, you gotta, I don't know,
face masks.
Steal the bases.
Catchers wear protective gear, so
that's right.
That's it. Yeah, they're all wearing.
They put their hand over their crotch. Sure.
Yeah. And then I've got. I mean, it's not a good deck, but it's a really fun deck to play. And while I was playing on the ladder with it, I was basically just shocking the hell out of everybody who was playing against me because as soon as I hero powered 3 times and then played a Mountain Giant, everyone just goes wait, what? Yeah. What's happening now? What's going on?
You know what? So, it's like it's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It is not a good movie, but it's a good time. You can have some fun with it. Sure.
Exactly. So if anybody out there is a fan of the Giants and a fan of Hunter Pence, give it a shot. See what you can come up with and tweet at me and let me know what you did. Right. It was awesome. It was really fun. I did it on stream, so
that's good.
Good times. Good times were had by all.
Check out the archive. I'm sure it still exists someplace. Mm-hmm. All right, let's dip our feet in the pool known as big news.
Big news of the week.
Big news brung to you by our friends at doghousesystems.com. They still have a bunch of 17-inch notebooks on the clear, and if you want to get a great deal on those for a good Christmas gift or something, those are there. But many wonderful systems, including the Blizzard systems, still available at doghousesystems.com/Blizzard. Pick your side, pick your awesome machine, and you'll be a very happy PC gaming dude.
Interested to know which sold more.
I don't. Yeah, I should ask. Maybe I will ask. I'll bet you it's Horde. I'm just guessing, but I'll bet you.
Probably.
Not just because it's Gerp and Henry.
Oh, no, though. Maybe Alliance has more money.
Well, maybe. But not just because it's Gerp and Henry. It's because the other reasons.
Not after buying the bike. Yeah, we didn't. That's
that's right.
So that's true. Yeah, you guys are out of money now.
Oh, I forgot to talk to Terpster about this. Oh, by the way, go to doghousesystems.com. The code Henry for double the memory. All right, Terpster, I forgot to ask you. So last week one day I was playing WoW, next day I went to log in, and I couldn't get in because it said my account had been not flagged, but on hold or something.
Frozen.
Frozen.
Had you run out of game time?
I did, because somebody at Blizzard, I'd forgotten, somebody about a year ago gave me a 12-month card.
25-year card. Oh, it's 12 months.
Yeah, 12 month. Now, I had a 25-year card, but that person left Blizzard for... Yeah. They didn't get fired. They just left. and it went somewhere
it's
else.
happened to me, yeah, exactly. And then that's the lovely thing of Blizzard is that they really love and retain and look after their employees. But as soon as you leave, you're dead to them. That you are,
Take your card.
like honestly, like they would walk past you in the street and just be like, I have no idea who the hell you are.
Right.
You're definitely not that douche who used to work here who left, are you? Maybe you are. I can't remember because I don't even remember who they are.
So you're still riding high on somebody's 25-year graces, right?
No. That's the thing. No, because that's the thing. All of the people who ever get close to me, they always leave. So
you're like the Tony Soprano.
Exactly. Exactly. I am exactly.
Wow.
So if you work at Blizzard and listen to this, obviously don't even think about giving me your
or Meardales.
Or any of us.
Exactly.
Yeah, just don't even do it.
It's not good. It's not going to work out.
The happiness of having it is not worth the sadness. Of losing
exactly.
It, right?
You're like, oh, I'm glad to help out someone. They're enjoying the game for free.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
WoW being free to play is fantastic. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
a great
think,
new model.
Yeah, like I said, as soon as you leave, then that all gets removed, which I think sucks really because for example, if you look at it, Greg Street worked on World of Warcraft for many years.
Oh, yeah.
Made it a fantastic game.
Sure.
In theory, Greg has to pay for WoW now.
I'll bet they make exceptions for guys of his caliber.
I don't know. Maybe. It'd be interesting to know if Rob Pardo still has his 25-year card or not.
Yeah. I'll bet
Like
he's
I
got
said,
permanent
I
forever
have a feeling
account.
even if they don't, that they're able to float
I think they
that
probably
bill.
know people. Yeah, exactly. I think they're probably
I think they're
okay.
good.
I think.
But
Listen,
I
I think
would be
25-year
really
cards are for like a lower tier. I think those guys all have some kind of
No,
permanent lifetime
no.
deal.
No,
Yeah?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I think he takes his sword and he has like some sort of special key and he shoves the sword down into it, turns it.
That would be cool.
WoW
yeah.
starts right up. Yeah.
That
Oh,
would
by
be-
the
that'd
way,
be
I am totally ticked at. Is it Legendary Pictures doing WoW? Is it someone else? I can't think of. Okay,
yeah.
I'm mad at Legendary and I'm mad at Blizzard. I don't know how much control they have on this. Maybe it's all the studios, but I cannot believe. So yesterday, I forgot to put this in the news. They broke the news that the music, the score for the new film, will be from that dude. What does the theme to Game of Thrones? I can't think of his name.
Game of Thrones.
Saudi. It's something. It's kind of an Indian name, but anyway. I can't remember his name. Anyway, that guy's done a bunch of other video game soundtracks and stuff like that. I cannot believe that this isn't Russell Brower doing it. This should be Russell Brower doing the music.
I mean, and to be quite honest, the theme song from Game of Thrones, a lot of people really like that. I don't think it's that special.
It's not. It's just trendy and it's in our face.
Brilliant. But you can make it about anything. It's great though.
Yeah.
It feels like that's fine. But just feels like it does the same thing over and over again.
Retarded. He's
Right,
retarded.
he's
Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah.
You could do it about anything.
But he came up with that one little melody, and then he just was like, "Yeah, just do it like 7 times in a row, and we're good."
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm not going to deny that I don't like it. But I also see it for what it is, which is kind of the trendy, hot thing at the moment. And it's mostly based on the fact that the show beneath it is really rad, and so it takes on extra. Music takes on extra meaning. It does that in WoW too, if we're being honest. Every game is elevated by the quality of their music.
It's kind of worrying, just purely because the music within Warcraft is so well contained, and they have such a great team working on it, and it always sounds like Warcraft. That by having someone who isn't on that team scoring the film, you wonder about how close to it. But hopefully, I mean, Blizzard seems to be fairly involved with a lot of it, and I imagine that they have some sort of kind of final cut sign off on the film.
And I hope he's at the very least involved in like a consultant sort of mode where he can have some creative
could he not
stuff.
Be?
He'd
the
have to be
is so iconic, and it has to. If the movie comes out and we don't hear some of our favorite and familiar melodies, it's gonna really take away from
then
it.
it's horrible. I agree. I totally agree with that. So all I'm saying is there's so much of Warcraft that is Russell and his team's contribution that if the movie is bereft of that, it's a loss for the film.
It is, absolutely it is. Yeah, and I hope that we don't have to endure.
Well, we have 18 months of production.
It's a small detail to a lot of people.
Yeah,
but it's a big detail to a lot of people as well. So some people aren't going to notice at all.
They're going to be mainstream audiences who have no idea who any of these people are. That they'll never know the name of anyone who had anything to do with the music. But I just from a creative perspective, I just feel like you are doing the movie a disservice if you don't at least have his voice in the making of this. So anyway, 18 months left to post production. They've got plenty of time to do things like that. But
we get to see the trailer
When
That's going to be
is
amazing.
that happening for sure? Do we know?
That's what
BlizzCon.
yeah, BlizzCon.
Well,
that's what I
there's
heard.
some sort of a like they're going to unveil
We're
something.
gonna have
And
at
it's on the
least
schedule.
tease. It's gonna be. We're gonna get first glimpse at something. It's gonna be beautiful.
Last year's movie panel didn't have much because there
I mean,
wasn't
we got
really nothing to show.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
We got the cool kind of concept art stuff, and that looked really nice.
And we got to hear from,
I think it was.
I hated that whole panel. Not because you didn't give me a thing I think I wanted, but because it just wasn't anything. It was just talking.
Well, I think
they
it was
had
a
to
bit
do
awkward,
something,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like it was just like we have to.
Yeah.
So let's get them up there and they'll talk.
I felt really bad though for Rob Pardo being up on stage
Why is
then. He
that?
was kind of just because they were kind of like the whole time. There wasn't really much that they could. So
It's weird that he will not be.
tried.
I mean, we already know Metzen and Bowie's kid,
Zoe Bobby?
Duncan Jones.
Duncan Jones.
Zoe Bobby.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They'll both be there on stage, which is
Sorry,
cool.
Duncan just turned around. He's called Duncan Jones as well.
His not last name's
yeah.
not Jones, is it?
Yeah.
Shut
yeah.
up, for real?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, we often get confused. Sometimes David Bowie's son comes into the office.
Yeah, and you're like, hey,
we'll
Duncan
do a whole
Jones.
recording
And then-
session with him,
yeah.
and then he'll end up not being the Duncan.
You're like,
that we know.
I don't remember Duncan being so shitty at Minecraft. What happened
Exactly.
here?
Well, exactly. Sometimes he's really good at Minecraft, and other times he's Duncan from the Yogscast. So that's the difference you get.
That's hilarious. I had no idea. Well, anyway, tell him source code was great. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so 11 hang on, when is it? When does it start? The problem, I'm looking at the schedule now.
Saturday. Is
and
it
it's
Friday or
giving me-
Saturday?
It's a Friday.
It's
Friday,
Saturday,
first
or
thing
Friday.
that's on
It's
there.
one of the first things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But the problem is that I'm looking at EU. So 11 p.m. I'm thinking like, wow, that's going to be late.
Yeah.
But whatever time it is over in LA,
Yeah.
so it's going to be fairly early on. I think kind of midday, maybe a bit earlier. We'll be able to watch that.
Saying 2:15.
Is it now?
2:15.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, that's
Okay.
the time it is.
All
Then.
right.
That
the
seems
thing
really
is-
late considering that the opening ceremony ends at.
So the opening
11:45.
ceremony, they're going
Yeah.
to announce something. It's going to be a new IP, and that's why it's not on here. If you remember, like normally what they'd do is it would just say World of Warcraft, what's new or something like that, and it's be because they've announced a new Warcraft expansion.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're not going to be doing that this year because the Warcraft expansion comes out a few days after BlizzCon.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
What I'm expecting is to hear about at least one, but possibly more, completely new things that we've never heard of, such as Project Overwatch. I think has to be forefront just in terms of Blizzard registered that. We
Yeah.
know that the team behind Left 4 Dead, or at least a lot of those guys are now working within Blizzard. I wouldn't be surprised if in that 2-hour slot between the opening ceremony and the movie presentation, if we don't get one or two huge panels.
Because that is a
Yeah,
big
'cause
gap
that's
of time.
It's a huge gap of time there. That's like
Yeah.
3 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
2 hours, 2.5 hours. And just So Scott, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Main and panel.
Yeah.
Main will be Warcraft movie presentation.
Yeah.
Panel will be Diablo 3. What's next? Where are you going to be?
See, this is the problem.
Where are you
I
gonna be, man?
really, really want to go to both.
Yeah. You cannot.
I can't.
Virtual ticket. Virtual ticket.
Virtual
So you
ticket.
virtual ticket on the phone and you.
No, virtual ticket, and then just later on, I think it's for like a month afterwards.
Yeah, you can go back
watch
and
all
watch
of these
it.
things.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was amazed how good that was. That was the best thing, I think,
Yeah,
because you
the
go to
sound you can actually
BlizzCon
hear
and you never do anything at BlizzCon other
Yeah.
than like hang out with friends,
Sure.
go check out. You're queuing in a line to buy some merch,
Mm-hmm.
and then you miss out on something, and then you see Tenacious D or something. It's amazing.
I mean-
but in terms of actually all the panels and all the news, the best experience is always on the virtual ticket, and it's great to be able to go there and then later have all of the little details that you missed out on be accessible. But yeah, you've got to do the movie. Come on.
Well, here's the problem.
If they don't give us, they got to give us some test footage. They're going to show us. They're going to show us like an all something. The problem is that in the past they've never done it because putting it out at BlizzCon is the same as just putting it out on the internet.
Yeah.
It's live streamed. You've got thousands of people there, all with camera phones, and everyone would just, you can't. It's not controllable. It's not like having a hall at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It's huge.
But I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. If that thing, the movie thing, is as packed as I think it's going to be, just imagine the nice, casual, maybe even get me up on a microphone to ask a question experience I might have for the Diablo show and that Diablo thing. I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna
What would
do
you
that.
ask?
I don't know what I'd even ask. That's a funny thing.
In Diablo Reaper of Souls, you change to greater rifts. Can we possibly see even greater rifts in future Diablos? Like what? It's going to be. No one cares, Scott. Let someone else ask it.
All right, fine. But Evolve.
You can come sit with me, and we will watch the Warcraft.
All right, we'll do that, and then the day after, the Saturday, I'll go to that Evolving Reaper of Souls one instead of the Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, exactly. It's Sound of the Nexus. That's fine. That's going to be Russell.
Yeah.
That's fine. We don't need to support Russell. That's fine. He supports us all the time. Why would we have to help him?
I just feel bad for the Diablo team. The dev team is going up against that Warcraft movie presentation. If indeed we're getting like a trailer or a teaser or whatever the hell we're going to get, like that's a big
I would just
thing.
love to see like some kind of not first look, because again, Comic-Con, you sons of, but having a look at the orcs and just seeing kind of where it's at. What do they actually look like?
Yeah.
Are they looking Tolkien, or they look in Warcraft, or how's it going?
Yeah,
I think it's great.
I like the schedule.
The thing I'm
though.
most excited about, apart from those blank slots beforehand.
Yeah.
To me, that's 2 games. That's 2 games that we're gonna be told about, just because there's 2 hours.
And they're two areas, like 2 major parts of the venue. Like you could have the space you need to have 2 equally interesting things. But if they're going to be so okay, here's what I think is going to happen. This is just my guess. My guess is we don't know this till day 1 when Morheim gets up and makes some crazy announcement. Then we see some weird trailer, and then we're like, oh my gosh! And then these 2 slots get filled in. That's what I know.
Happens. Yeah, that's what my hope is. And I think that we know that Blizzard is moving towards having more teams, smaller, more agile teams working on smaller products that aren't necessarily small. Like Hearthstone's huge, 20 million players. But is a much smaller team, 30 people, isn't it? Team 5 now, and that's grown.
Yeah.
So I personally, like I said, I'm really, really loving playing Evolve. Every time I go to a convention, Evolve's there, and we get to have a look.
Speaking of the other half of that Left 4 Dead team that went that way, yeah, that's what they
the
did, right? They split,
and it is
half of them went to Blizzard.
Phenomenal. It's a phenomenal game. It's really good fun, and it's that perfect thing for kind of today's world where just 5 friends and that's it. You've got your game. You haven't got to find 10 people or 20 people or 25 people.
Yeah.
It's quite an achievable older audience, and I think Blizzard's audience has aged. I think we've all got a bit older, and young people are still coming in, of course, but I think that would be really fun to see if there is like I said, a Left 4 Dead Evolve style game out of Blizzard.
But here's
and
what you need.
If it happened to be like in StarCraft World with StarCraft Ghosts, and if you're fighting off wave after wave of Zerg, I mean that would be so cool,
dude.
That'd be so
a big
cool.
evolved Zerg thing. My
I
goals
like,
with Blizzard is whatever the hell they're hiding. It needs to be StarCraft extended universe.
It'd be
stuff.
exactly Zelnaga, Zelnaga.
Oh, dude.
Nagas.
All the
It'd be all of that stuff. I think at least that's my big hope. But like I said, because there's 2 hours, they may leave an hour between the opening ceremony and anything.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they said, like, here's this big announcement and it's up next.
Yeah.
I think you are going to get some sort of a buffer time there, because what happens is people come in, they all head over that one area, and then you got to give people time to kind of shuffle around and look at all the stuff.
Yeah, drunk people need to barf just outside the bathroom.
You don't want to immediately
and,
start, like, okay, now a big, huge announcement. It's like, well, I want to go play a game and go to the shop and get some food. And
and there's no, I mean, as sad as I am as a Diablo player to know this in my heart, there's no way they announce a new expansion in that little space where they're crammed up against the movie. There's just no way.
Yeah,
no, there's no going to be no wows. Not Diablo. But I mean, what you've got to look before is there's no Hearthstone either on any of the schedule. There's the World Championships are going on.
There's a fireside chat, and
then there's the next day, right?
How to become an arena legend.
Oh yeah.
They're not even putting up anything about when because that's a different stage altogether, right? There's like a esports style stage.
Yeah.
So that's not even on here yet, but
there could be some a new Hearthstone expansion. Whether or not that's going to be headlining, who knows?
We know the 100 cards or so expansion will be coming, and then so that I'm assuming will probably be talked more about at the fireside chat.
Yeah.
The how to become an arena legend. I'm guessing that's some sort of like they get Trump and I don't know some other people up there.
Maz or something up there, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, just play a really good deck and just learn about how to play the game.
Yeah, Hunter Giants.
But
deck.
then, I mean, the real Hearthstone action for me is the World Championship. I'm going to be all over that. We already got
The World
Kalento
Championship,
and
though?
Strife
Oh,
Pro showing
maybe.
up.
What's that? See, so that thing's boy, they've got that thing all up.
That's on, yeah, exactly. On the Saturday, that is actually, if you look, it's not really up against much else.
No.
If you watch the World Championship, Evolving Reaper of Souls, Heroes of the Storm,
even on Friday, it's a solid block. Everyone else has chunks out of it, like StarCraft, Heroes of the Storm, and everything else got big old break pieces. Not that Hearthstone deal. That is one big blue pillar of all the time.
It will be a big one.
Yeah.
Well, right now in the esports world, Hearthstone is kind of their biggest thing.
Yeah. It's
pretty
crazy. Well,
that's how
outside your
it's
mainstays like LOL and freaking Dota.
Well, no,
too,
but I'm saying for Blizzard, I mean, it's when you look when you go to Twitch and stuff, it's Hearthstone is way above StarCraft.
It's mad though to think that this is kind of what you get when you get an iOS game, like how much of a measure bigger in terms of your player base becomes.
It's crazy.
20 million players.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
On Hearthstone is huge.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think if Blizzard finds more ways to tap into that massive core audience that has iPhones and iOS devices, it's just huge.
It's gonna be insane. But
I think that's a big part to why people really want to watch it too, though, is because everyone's played it and everyone understands what's happening. Whereas when you watch, say, Arena World of Warcraft at the highest level, a lot of it is completely. It just goes over everyone's head. They don't understand what's happening. They're calling out things like he interrupted a spell cast. That's a huge moment.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the guy cast the spell. I had no idea a spell was being cast ever.
Yeah.
But in Hearthstone, it's like he thinks, you can think along with him, all of that stuff. 20 million people playing the game, all can kind of look at that and think, oh, I can watch this guy.
I get
who's
what
really
he's doing.
good, play really well, and now I can learn, and I get what he's doing differently than what I'm doing. And
turns out, solid as hell idea. This whole Hearthstone idea.
Yeah, turns out.
Good job, guys.
So let's hope that they've got more left field thinking. I think it'd be really good.
Yeah, I do too. Briefly here, I did want to mention one other thing. So we talked about the schedule. Oh, do we have any? I know this is a small thing, but I always like to try to predict this. So we don't know about performers or bands at all, and I'm very much leaning toward the idea that maybe some in conjunction with Russell, but some kind of video games live thing instead of just bringing in some 90s punk band again. I'd rather them go that route, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea to hear, basically an orchestra do a bunch of game music, but I would freaking love that.
That would be pretty sweet.
But I don't know. Do you guys have any predictions? You think any returning guests? Or
Elite Touring Chieftain, maybe. I think I could see a Elite Touring Chieftain concert again.
Like a whole,
they might play
the entire thing be them? No.
I Am Murloc and Power of the Horde.
But just just as an opener again, or is the whole band again? What do you think?
No. I think
they want that final thing to just feel like a big kind of party release kind of celebration, though. So as much as it would be cool to have orchestral music being played, I don't think you'd get quite the reaction you get when.
And they've
bring
done
up a big
video
rock
games
band,
live. I remember, what was it, like 2007? I think was that.
It was ahead or after or something
live, and then it was whoever it was that I can't remember.
Yeah, I think
Must
you're
have been
right.
good.
Yeah.
Stuck with me.
Right.
But past that, I don't know. I think like I said, I remember saying, because I chatted to Morheim about trying to get Rush there because I thought he's a massive Rush fan. It saves me having to try and buy a ticket to see them.
Rush?
But he said
that would be insane.
He said that they're the most expensive ones.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
He said that they've out of everyone that they've kind of talked to, but they have obviously talked to them because he's that big a Rush fan. But apparently they're just stupidly expensive. So it's unlikely that it's Rush, which is a shame because again I would like to see them and not have to pay anything extra.
That'd be
great.
awesome, dude.
It would be amazing.
Rush would be great.
That would be amazing. How about Green Day?
Green Day is a fit. There's
Day.
a fit there, right? I think there's a
Green Day.
I would again probably just head out to the Hilton and grab a drink.
Yeah, I would be
fine,
less
but
likely
I would
to
freak.
watch
Me and
it.
Garrett would freak. We would lose our proverbial crap.
Yeah, you guys are dookie.
I would love the D to return. I would love to have Tenacious D. That was
Sure,
still
the D would be great,
the
but they
best
haven't really done
atmosphere
any new stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. That was the best BlizzCon after BlizzCon kind of concert party thing in terms of everyone was there, everyone got it. It was all fun. I mean, I don't know, short of like Weird Al, I don't know really who you can get in.
Well, Weird Al would
But,
be amazing. How about Weezer too? I think Weezer would be a good fit.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, maybe they could have a sweater I could pull and then have him be naked by the time I walk away. I do like the idea of Green Day actually, because I could take it or leave it, but it's a good fit. Like it feels like a good fit to me. I'm not a giant fan. They're cool, whatever. Dookie's still one of the best albums ever in the '90s, but it's still, whatever. They're Green Day and they're fine. I think they'd be fine. If Blink-182 is appropriate, well then hell yeah, Green Day is.
Well, I mean, so the one thing about Green Day, I think the reason why like Blink and Green Day would be pretty good is because a lot of the player base, I think, when they started playing WoW, grew up with those types of bands and now are still fans of those types of bands.
Sure.
So,
and they're making a bit of a resurgence. I was at a local high school doing some chaperone stuff with Kim, and man, did that place explode anytime any Green Day or Blink-182 or Sum 41 song came on. They all lost their crap. So I feel like there's like a sub 16-year-old group that is way back into that crap. So yeah, I think it's a good fit. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
I have to go.
Yeah, you got to leave. You got to train.
I got a train to catch. But on as always.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just trying to think of anything else to add before I go. I don't know, for the Alliance.
For the Alliance, look at you.
That's about as much enthusiasm as I have for it, really, at the moment.
That's pretty good.
It's like, I got to, like I said, BlizzCon will recharge those Alliance Pride batteries, which is different from the Alliance Pride Inn, where people use batteries.
Right.
Right. I will catch you next week.
All right.
Have a good one.
Our best to everyone.
Sorry.
We'll talk to you later, man. See
Bye.
ya. Let me take this moment to tell you about this. Check this out. Blizzard says, Dills, that they have a split bias about factions internally. We're always talking about how the Horde gets all this talk on stage and stuff, but it turns out internally, at least this is what they're claiming, that they have a split bias. A Twitter person asked, yay, another Blizzard representative that's Horde, and you guys still try to deny the bias. Pfft. That's the word he spelled out, was pfft. The response came from Don Adams there at Blizzard. Actually, the WoW dev team has a pretty even split of Horde and Alliance players. Done! Throw down the gauntlet. It's been proven they don't have a Horde bias.
Yeah.
Or, truthfully, they totally have a Horde bias. And
you know what? Whether they do or not, I feel like this has gone too far. Alliance, you just need to understand. I got your back, guys. I'm Horde, of course.
Yeah.
But and I got your back. But there comes a point when it just sounds like whining, and it doesn't sound like constructive criticism anymore.
Yeah.
So let's be constructive when we talk about this stuff.
Sure.
When you type the word, poof, then you're not making a solid argument. So
I agree. You're not even making a solid sound. Yeah. It's a weird sound.
I definitely want this game to be on an even keel when it comes to Horde versus Alliance. I do want that. As a Horde player, I want that.
Yeah, I do too.
I want you guys to be a worthy opponent, and I believe that Blizzard does probably have a pretty even split. But I think that when it comes to story, they look at stuff and they say, well, what's more compelling here? Which side is more compelling?
Well, I'll tell you what swung it way over to the Alliance side for me. It's all this Murad stuff. I mean, I am way into that character, and
he's amazing.
I am behind that guy, and also behind Archmage. What's his buck? I'm into those dudes are great, and I'm into it. And I've got somebody pointed out in an email, hey, you guys do know that Murad's just circling around in that ship in Pandaria right now, in the Alliance ship. Yeah, no, I know. I know he's in the game. He's in the Burning Crusade cinematic, for heaven's sakes. I know the guy's been around. I know he does cool stuff. But you got to admit, he's been back burner there's been really virtually nothing about him. You could say the same thing about, I'm trying to think of a Horde character who's like this, but there's plenty of characters that just don't get a ton of play. And now suddenly he is main stage, and I'm all right with that. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely, and I think with this Lords of War stuff, that you didn't see Thrall having a meeting about Vol'jin having a meeting about it. You saw 2 Alliance guys having a meeting about it.
I love that.
And what they were going to do to stop these guys, this Iron Horde.
It's a great perspective, and the fact that Murad. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but seeing some of the in-game cinematic stuff that involves him later, dude's a damn hero. Like, he is a badass. We're gonna get a lot of scratcher. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I'm into it.
I do think that that people have a point, but I think when you just be aware when you're trying to make that point, how you're coming across. And sometimes you come across not as like having a solid argument, but as just complaining, and it doesn't really work.
I'm with you. Yeah. Also, the question was asked on Twitter, what about Timeless Isle? People are concerned that it's going to get shuttered off into nowhere land in all this scuttlebutt. And
I don't see why it would.
They said, the question was, I'm not sure if you're the right person to ask, but is Timeless Isle sticking around going into Warlords? And Watcher Dev replied, yep, it's not going anywhere. They replied again, is it changing? So for the instance, can I go do all the stuff I never did in MOP in WOD? He says, other than some specific things like legendary questline parts of that, which are in that, everything from Mist will remain for you to explore, including Timeless Isle. So worry not, everyone. If you are not bored with that place, like I am, you can go back there and do things.
I mean, you can still go to Queldanis, if you want to.
You can do a little flying run around the back of the castle. And
sure, if you feel like it, if it's so inspired to do so, then just have at it. But
kill some demons.
There's no reason to remove any of this stuff. I mean, if there's certain things they want to get rid of, and anything that has to do with the legendary cloak, that'll go. But outside of that, yeah, get in there. You get your crappy little purples that don't do anything anymore if you want, and whatever.
Go for it, buddy. Yeah. Get in there. Have at it. We're gonna do a little of this now.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Why, it's the Town Crier.
All right, Town Crier time. That's your emails and your calls. And Town Crier today is brought to you by brand new sponsor, the Texas Beard Company.
What?
Oh, man. See, this is perfect because we're right ahead of BlizzCon.
It's Octobeard.
Oh,
too.
I know, right? And then November beard's coming up, and then in BlizzCon,
and then December beard right after that.
So many beards coming up, and BlizzCon is just littered with beards. And some of them you look at and you go, you could use some help, some grooming, some extra product maybe to help you kind of have a luxurious ladies want to just stroke it kind of beard.
That's the best kind of beard.
Well, all natural man-made beard care products can be yours if you go to texasbeard.com. And we're talking any beard, like Gandalf beard or just a little wiener, like thin mustachy-looking, goatee-looking deal.
A wanna beard.
You want it less itchy, much softer. They got 4 manly scents to choose from. Use the coupon code for the Horde. Not to continue this whole faction bias thing, but use the code for the Horde.
Now the don't even get the beard company's not even on their side.
Oh, well. That'll get you 20% off your entire order, and that's all spelled out one word, for the Horde. It's not case sensitive, but it's not the number 4. It's for the Horde, and that's 20% off your whole order, and always, as always, free shipping in the U.S. for any orders over $25. That's texasbeard.com, and the code for the Horde for 20% off. We thank them for their support. Phone number
lately.
I know, right? Number to call for this here show and leave us a message is 206-202-3969, or you can email us theinstance@gmail.com. You can include attached MP3s or voice memos from your phone or whatever there as well. 206-202-3969 is the number. Our calls today include this one about how to automate WoW and learn.
Hey guys, this is Laser Chicken. I betting you can guess what class and spec I play. Listening to the show this last week, and I heard you guys talking about tools for new players, and I thought about the fact that I just started playing some League of Legends, and they have an incredible assortment of tools for bringing you into the game and helping you learn some of those little interesting facets of how the game works, whether it's pop-ups to remind you to do something the right way. And it was specifically sparked by one of your callers asking about the idea of could you have automated bot-style dungeons to go into, and League's kind of done exactly that. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there as an idea that maybe they could learn without reinventing the wheel, look at what someone's already doing really well. Love the show, guys. Keep it up. Thanks.
So I think it's trickier because when you're trying to teach somebody how to raid, for example, the nuance of a raid is so much more complicated than take this ranged dude and rush in and make sure you keep this distance. And, there's just, I don't know, it feels simpler.
The thing about like the League and the MOBAs is that they already have, as part of the gameplay, they have, AI guys on your side and my side. Yeah. So those are already in there, and that's already like part of the deal. But
sure,
in a game like World of Warcraft, they'd have to program up some guys.
Sure.
Because you never had this on your side necessarily. You've had guys who run along with you, but they don't really do anything.
Yeah.
In little side quests, and you have to make guys who at least somewhat imitate what actual humans would do if they were playing along with you. So
Yeah.
it is a little trickier, and it would take a little bit more effort, I think. So this is the reason why I'm not 100% behind the idea, and I don't think that'll actually happen. But I like it. I think it would be great.
There's a lot of A to B and go here and blow up this thing kind of mechanics in MOBAs that I just don't know that they apply. I guess I'm not saying the work couldn't be done, but it's much more work.
It would basically be they have to create the characters or the archetypes or whatever, and then they'd have to tell them what rotations to do and how to react to certain situations, and then yell things out at you. It could be cool, and I can picture it. However, like the actual coding up of how to do that, I can't even begin to think that I know how to do all that.
Yeah.
And so I don't assume that Blizzard is going to take the effort to do that. However, I've said this on The Angry Chicken. Here's how it works in the podcasting world. I think it's cool. Put it in the game. But when you work at the video game company, it's
but their priorities and that and the fact that YouTube is littered with very good not interactive necessarily, but really good guides on how to tank, how to heal, how to fight, how to whatever. In a very real way, the problem took care of itself.
Yeah.
It may not be this cool in-game engine thing, but again, why would they?
Sure.
Why would they bother? The internet is doing that stuff for them. So, and it's not costing them anything.
I need to say something to the chat room real quick. They're saying that the Horde doesn't have beards. My orc has a beard.
My guy's got a beard.
My Dills has a beard.
Yeah. What do you mean Horde doesn't have beard? The Horde is full of beards. Many beards. There's
lots of facial hair in the Horde.
Dude, even freaking Garage Hellscream can't get that 5 o'clock shadow to go away. That's kind of a beard.
It's permanent. Yeah.
Whatever.
But no, there's beards.
Yeah.
There's beards.
Yeah. Many beards are found on the Horde side of the world.
Now, not to say that we don't.
Taurens are beards. Look at a
That's
Tauren.
true. Their whole body is a
beard.
But we cannot compete with the human mustache. We know this.
No, we already knew that. Yeah. No. I've not. That's funny. I've not seen a single image of the new humans. I guess I could go make one in the beta, but I haven't seen any of them with the old porn mustache. How's that hold up? I assume it looks all right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look, the dwarves. Okay, you got us there. That is the most epic beard selection in the history of video games. That's what dwarves do. They have very ornate, crazy beards, and they're insane. So we're not saying we compete with that, but it won't kill you, Alliance players, to type the word for the Horde in there. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Get over it.
We got another call here about. This guy's got questions about the virtual ticket and the BlizzCon schedule.
Hey, Instance Crew, this is Chris from Earthen Ring, and I had a question regarding the 2014 virtual ticket. In the past, I've always been able to hook up my laptop to my HDTV and watch it that way, but I'm really looking to see if they may come up with something that'll let us stream it from like an iPad or an iPhone that I can stream through my Apple TV, or maybe, if I'm stuck at work, having to watch it on one of the other two devices. So, love to know your thoughts. Enjoy the show, and thank you very much.
All right, my understanding is absolutely. It plays over HTML5 and all tablets and devices will play it. And in theory, then, if you're using Google Chrome and an Android tablet, for example, you can broadcast it to your television. If you're using an Apple, like an iPad or iOS on a phone, you can AirPlay that over to an Apple TV, no problem. That'll all work.
And even now with Chromecast on an iPad, you can still do it because now you can send some stuff over with that. On
that's true. Yeah, so, notebooks like just a browser window in Chrome will let you do it. Like there are definitely ways to take this.
There's
to your
a lot
television.
of ways to get it to all the things. Yeah. Fear not. Yeah. You will be able to do it this year. I mean, you kind of have to at this point. And any company that's trying to do anything that streams somewhere needs to be aware of the prevalence of the iOS. So it's happening.
I also noticed this is a wish of mine because I am really enjoying my PlayStation 4. I love remote play and lets me do things on Vitas, and now their Xperia phones and other Android devices will do it as well. But what I'd really like is the reverse as well, like being able to take stuff from these smaller screens up to and let the PS4 essentially act as an AirPlay device the way an Apple TV does. That would be awesome. They won't probably, but I think it'd be cool.
I think it would be really cool. It's to me, when you're at a company and you look at a feature like that, you go, well, people probably already have something that does this, right? So do we need to do it too?
That's a good point. It's all, I guess it's a matter of whether or not that cuts into your market
right
or
now.
not.
The streaming market, like with all these little devices, is kind of heavily contested. I'm curious to see if like one just rises to the top.
Well, there was wasn't
if
Nielsen
the VHS of Roku's and Apple TVs.
I can't remember who where this study came from, but there is some statistics that support the idea that 70-something% of streaming on televisions via Netflix, Hulu, and all that stuff are coming out of consoles. That it's actually a very small percentage of people who are using Rokus and
set-top things.
Yeah, those are lower on the thing than you'd think, and they're mostly using their Xboxes and their PlayStations, which
that's crazy.
That surprised me. I figured these dedicated devices would be more used, but I guess it makes sense.
What do you have, Scott? Are you a Roku guy? You got the Apple TV? What do you?
Well, rocking? I'm a weird case because I'd want to try everything. So I actually have a Fire TV from Amazon, a Roku downstairs, an Apple TV downstairs, a PS4, PS3, and an Xbox 360. Mm-hmm. And they're all capable of doing it, and a lot of times it depends.
No Chromecast in there.
No, I do have a Chromecast. I forgot about that. I have a Chromecast as well. Although
that's like $30. So
I just don't use them very often, or use it very often. Kim loves the Fire TV. That's upstairs on a TV, and that's now the way she gets her content. She loves it. I think if I had a preference, it would be I like the apps a lot on the PlayStation 4. I just don't like. I feel like I'm using a hot console to do something I don't need a console for.
Sure, yeah.
So I don't know. The Apple TV interface needs to be updated.
Using a flamethrower to light a cigar.
Kind of, yeah, dude. Yeah, that is like that.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. Well said. Or a monster truck to get to the corner store. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. But we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, dude, you're covered.
I'm throwing support behind the Roku. I think the Roku is. I wish the Roku had a couple things it doesn't have, but. It just feels like it has. I like the fact that there's all these random apps that just some guy made, and you can use it to do some weird stuff. I like that.
That is the Roku's cool, and I like my Roku 3. I think I've been better with the Fire since I am starting. Well, especially with all that HBO stuff now on Amazon Prime, I'm watching a lot more Prime than I used to. And though that app is on these other devices, like on the Roku, you can get the Prime app. I think the one that's built into the Fire is really strong and super fast to load, and it's really.
I heard when you're watching the Prime, it's like instant. You
don't wait for anything.
Anything else it doesn't work quite as well.
Although I gotta say, Netflix seems quicker. I haven't timed them all, but it does seem faster on there. Like it's loading, but it's also a little crusty at first. So I think they're kind of faking that a little bit.
I do enjoy using the Chromecast for the Twitch though, because I'll just pull I'll pull up the WoW streamer that I want to watch, or the Hearthstone streamer, and I'll click the little thing, and then I got the chat on my phone, and the screen is up there playing the dude, so it's cool.
It's a pretty good way to do that.
Yeah.
I got a couple emails here. One from someone whose name I didn't get. Crap, I meant to. It says, hey guys, here it is, Stormforge from the Chandris US. Well, there's his name. I only recently played the Warcraft 3 campaigns, and I've been kicking myself ever since for not playing them sooner. I could not believe the amount of WoW lore in that this game covers. One of my favorites was the bonus campaign with Rexar and his bear companion Misha. Without any spoilers, can you tell me if he has any story in WOD? I'd like to know more about how he became the last member of the Mok'Nathal clan. Also, what do you think of the chances that Blizzard will announce updated versions of the Warcraft RTS at BlizzCon, maybe even a new edition? Thanks. I actually think it's very possible Warcraft 4 gets announced. I think that may be the IP that's hiding behind the curtain. Huh? I do. I think it's a ways off, but I could see it. Okay. But I don't think they're gonna do anything. They may announce that the old one is coming to the launcher, so you'll be able to play the old game soon for cheap or with your old key, and that's very possible. But I don't think we'll get anything new. However, Rexar, who does feature heavily in Hearthstone, thankfully.
He does. He is the hunter.
He's the guy. I love him.
And Misha is one of the animal companions that you can get. So you get Leok, Misha, or Huffer.
Yeah.
Misha's one of them.
It's my favorite law firm of the Misha, Mohawk, and Huffer.
Misha, Leok, and Huffer.
Leok, there you
Incorporated.
Go. Yeah. Go there if you've been in an accident, call them. I don't know why he's not featured everywhere else though, and it bugs me because I haven't seen anything character.
in Drain or Warlords yet. Have you seen anything?
Is he? See, this is where I'm going to show.
I haven't played a ton of the beta because I don't want to spoil much stuff for myself, but I haven't seen his name come up.
Well, I want to say Rexar may be dead, but I don't know this for sure, so I'm going to look this up real fast. This is where I start to suck at the lore.
Is he?
Hold on. Rexar, champion, half orc, half beastmaster. Largest orcs in the clan. Prior to Burning Crusade, wandered the path of something along the road through the desolate, continued to twinkle. Okay, here we go. Currently, he is... Okay, well, I guess he is around. Currently, he can be found in the Thunderlord Stronghold in the Blade's Edge Mountains of Outland. Oh, no, I didn't see him because I hated that freaking zone. Yeah. He protects... Let's see, protecting the settlement against ogres and Gron while trying to find more of his people. He has been and has been always voiced by Chris Metzen.
But
which is
I don't
nice.
think he did anything in Pandaria at all.
No. Well, I don't think he's done anything in much of anything. Like, he's just standing there. He may have had some quest lines around him, but he's just not doing anything.
Yeah, okay, here you go. Cataclysm. He appeared in the Cataclysm World event. Other than that, he played no role. And then nothing in Pandaria.
Yeah. I mean, in Hearthstone, he's huge. People love him.
Okay, but it has been confirmed he will appear in Warlords. Boom.
But what will he do?
I don't know, but he's a half orc, half ogre, so he's got to be in there somewhere, right? Got to be in there somewhere.
Well, all right. Yeah, and
you know what he'll do? He's gonna hunt you down. That's what he's gonna do.
I do know I'm the last person to ask about his particular origin because I don't know enough about him. I just know he's a badass in Hearthstone, and I like him in there.
I will hunt you down.
That's right. I assume that's Metzen also doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Mike wrote in. This is not Mike Morheim. If it was, he would sound like this.
Hi, I'm Mike Morheim from Blizzard, and you're listening to The Instance.
Thanks, man. Blizzard has created a universe that rivals Tolkien's, says Mike. Yes, I said it. The stories run deep, and I fear some people may not have had the chance or gumption to catch up on the novels and the like. What are your thoughts on an in-game library, and I love this idea, where a player could go and find information on something? Each wing of the library would focus on zones, creatures, NPCs, etc. He's basically talking about a codex. Click on the book and you get a few pages of lore with an illustration by the Blizzard team. Any of the guys from Sons of the Storm would be sweet. Like I said, a great show. Look forward to it every week. Keep up the great work, Mike. All right, Mike. Thank you for the compliment. And I agree 100%. A true in-game awesome codex of some kind. Like, imagine Skyrim lets you do this. All the lore of Skyrim and previous Elder Scrolls games, you can just click on a book and read it.
If you want to,
Yeah, I don't want a ton of reading. I think WoW needs to be a very visual game, but a little quick blurb and a sweet picture of Chen Stormstout saving somebody.
It's true. Right now, you've got some things you can open and read a little bit, but there's a lot of these like books and stuff that don't really do much. They give you a little, they don't give you that much. But it would be cool to be able to go into an actual library in your home city and have like a bookshelf there and click around and see what they all are and open them up and read a little bit. And who knows, it could sell some more actual books, which could be cool for Blizzard in the long run.
I love it. I love this idea.
It's a great idea. Yeah. It's going to take some doing to make that happen because someone's got to sit down and write it all. But
yeah,
they got plenty of people who can do that.
Right.
Over at Blizzard.
They have a lot of art already. They have
idea.
assets from 20 years ago through now where they could just pull from that stuff. It's not like they'd have to create a bunch of new art. Make it all sketchy and black and white and cool. Like I'm in. I think this would be brilliant. Great idea.
Yeah, and it's something like in these lull times right now. Don't you think it would be fun to just log in and just go, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna read about some lore right now.
I could spend days in there, dude.
You could have little pictures, little maybe even some. If there's an in-game cinematic that surrounds that character, a way to be able to just like play it at that point, like as you're reading about the person.
Well, and I realize as I'm saying this that I'm going against my earlier argument about why Blizzard doesn't do in-game training tutorials in the way that one caller wanted, or that one emailer or whatever. And it's because this stuff already exists on the internet. And it's not as cool or as elegant or as in the game.
Well, but
it's all out there, you know?
Here's the other thing, though, too, is that even though this stuff exists on the internet, the actual portion of the player base that, you know, goes on the internet and seeks this stuff out, I believe is much smaller than I think people give it credit for. I think a lot of people think that everyone who's playing the game probably goes on MMO Champion and goes, when they're trying to figure out how to play their character or whatever, they go onto Icy Veins or Noxic or something. But I think a lot of people never do that and don't know, and we don't hear about them because they're just playing the game.
Yeah.
And they never leave the game client to find out anything about this game.
Yeah.
They're just in there playing it. And if it's not in the game, they're not going to know.
Sure. Tibber in the chat room made a point that he says, hey, Scott, aren't you the guy that doesn't read quest text? And you're right. I do sometimes. I don't always. But when I don't, it's usually because, all right, I just need to get through this quest. I don't really care about this, this, and this, and this. But that's different. That's in the heat of questing. you're in the middle of playing a game. I kind of want to get to the next action bit or the next progression or the next level or whatever, and that's separate for me than, say, reading time where I would want to go read a book or, in this case, read a bunch of lore. I mean, I do this with, like, I'm watching The Sopranos last night, and I saw a guest actor. I'm like, I know that guy. And I went on this long, giant rabbit hole of Wikipedia entries and IMDb postings. There was a ton of reading that had nothing to do with sitting idly by and watching a TV show. But I go down those rabbit holes a lot of the time. I'm just saying I love WoW rabbit holes. I just don't like reading them in real time when I'm trying to get to the next quest.
What's funny is over time, I've turned from a person who never read the quest text into someone who definitely does, at least the first time through a place.
Yeah.
And it's just as you get deeper into this game, you start to kind of recognize characters again. But the first time when I started playing it, I only read enough, because you remember back in the day you had to read it just to figure out where the hell to go.
Yeah. Plus it wrote out. Plus it came slowly. Remember, I know there's an option to still do that, right. But it would just kind of go.
Yeah, just scroll out.
Yeah, like someone was writing it for you.
But I used to have to read it to say, okay, I got to go north. Okay, cool. But that was the extent of my reading, was just to get through the questing. And now, as I go back to stuff, if I haven't read that quest text before, I will this time around. And all the new stuff, I sit there and I read it. It takes a lot longer, and there is some times where you get a little bit, it's a little cumbersome to have to read every single long paragraph about everything. But you're right. When you want to read, that's when you want to read. So give the option to want to read, and you will do it. So
yeah. One quick note: I just got a text from my sales manager guy who says, "Hey, the code for the Texas Beard Company is all caps. It is case sensitive. For the Horde, all caps. My bad.
All caps.
All caps. So chat room, those who've been saying, hey, your code doesn't work, it totally works. Just all caps. I apologize. I did not know it was case sensitive. But
Important
now I know.
Information. Put it in the notes.
That would be good to know. All right. That's going to do it for emails, and you guys are awesome, so thanks for sending those in. And that's going to do it for the show. As usual, theinstance.net is our website. On Twitter, you can find us at Instance Show, Scott Johnson, Willie Dills, _T. Dills, you got anything this week going on you want to tell folks about?
This week, well, let's see. This weekend is all about baseball, and so is the rest of the week. So that's pretty much what's going on for me. Yeah. I think, though, that next weekend or the weekend after, I can't remember, there's some Extra Life streaming stuff.
24-hour stuff, yep.
Yeah, so I think I'll be involved in some of that at the Folsom Street Foundry, as well as maybe helping out Jocelyn with some of her stuff, too. So.
You know what I call October? It's called Brand Confusion Month for me, but it's also a great charity, so everybody should give their money. And
that's true, yeah.
Fantastic.
And the first time I heard about that, I was like, "Wait, Scott's doing it?
Scott involved in this somehow? Oh, what a that's my life for the last 6-7 years, whatever."
But yeah, so I'll be doing some of that. Outside of that, it's pretty much just hanging out and watching baseball, and hopefully watching them go all the way. I'm really excited for the Giants right now. They're playing some good baseball, and everybody should be afraid. Yep. Be afraid.
Look, you cannot listen. I want to say this to people who want to give Dills so much crap for being such a fan of those guys. You can let's just say you don't like them. Fine. If you don't want to respect the team, that's fine. But you got to respect Dills' absolute, utter devotion to that team. It's intense.
Yeah,
it's the heat of 1,000 suns, man. I can feel it from here.
Yeah. By the way, though, too, Saturday, that's tomorrow. That's the first game. There's only a few things ever that could make me not be just at a bar sitting there watching that game. Yeah. And one of them is a fan of this show and the Angry Chicken coming all the way from Seattle to take me to a hockey game.
Wow.
So I instead will be at the Sharks game, first ever hockey game we're ever going to be going to.
That's great.
And so I want to thank Watch for coming out and doing that with me tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm a little bummed it has to happen the same day as the first Giants game, but I will be, I'm sure there will be updates at the Sharks Stadium, and I'm sure I'll be able to keep up on my phone and stuff like that. I might have a little radio or something, but I'm all in on the hockey though. I'm gonna
great.
Fully give myself to the hockey experience, because I know a lot of people have given me crap over time because I've said I don't understand why hockey is so great, but.
I think you'll walk away with an appreciation, because live hockey is kind of special. I really love a good live hockey game.
I think I will. I'm a man who likes a good sporting event, so I can't see any reason why I'm not going to thoroughly enjoy this. So, looking forward to that. And outside of that, just catch me on the Twitches.
Cool. Got a recommendation in the chat room from Pletius, who says, Scott, you should read some of the older books. I think it was Warcraft: The Last Guardian. It has Calgar's story, and I didn't even know who that guy was. So yeah. All the books, all the lore. Bring it on, everyone. For me and mine, what's going on? Munchkin artist John Kovalik is going to be on tonight's Current Geek with me and Tom Merritt. I think people might get a big kick out of that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff to announce, a little joint project, and Len Peralta and other cartoonists will be joining. He says cartoonists all around tonight on Current Geek at currentgeek.com. You can find details about showtimes and all that stuff there. And there's a billion other things going on in the network. New Diablo show this weekend. Man, just too much.
We gotta play some more, man.
I know, right? I've been doing greater riffs, and I'm loving them.
Yeah, I was playing some more. Like I can solo tournament stuff now.
Nice,
which is a big step forward for me. It's a little rough when I get to the boss because I'm so AOE heavy. But
yeah,
I'm in there and I'm doing it.
Good.
And then with like one other person, I can get to like tournament 3 or so.
No, we should play some more. I loved it.
Yeah.
That was a really good time the other night. So we'll talk this weekend so we can get some time in. Best of luck to the Giants, I suppose, since that's all happening tomorrow.
Oh, come on. You suppose. Come on.
I suppose.
What other team are you potentially going to throw? I mean, now the guy who maybe the Utah people could root for, Bryce Harper, is gone.
Yeah,
so I think
right.
now you just got to root for the Giants, man.
I got to root for anybody who has a team because we don't. So there you have
True.
it. We have the Salt Lake Buzz.
Well, you have the Salt Lake, the Bees, or the Buzz.
They used to be the Bees. Then they got changed to the
Buzz.
Buzz, so we could put 2 Z's on it, like the Jazz, like all our teams. Our hockey team is the Grizzlies. Everyone calls them the Grizz.
So what team is it a feeder for? Like what is the major league team associated with them?
With the that's
the Buzz.
The Buzz would be you mean like their parent team or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Where do they send their guys to?
You know what? I don't know that. We're gonna find out. Salt Lake Buzz. What are they called? Like sister team, right? Or, how's that?
I don't know.
How do you say that? I forget.
Well, their colors are black and yellow, so I'm wondering if they're the Angels.
The Angels. Is that what it is? Okay.
But the Angels are out, so yeah.
Well, F those guys.
Nice.
And we're real big on soccer now, so we got a big Real Stadium and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
going
Real
on.
Salt Lake.
Yeah, which they're pretty good, I guess. I keep hearing.
Which, come on, we're not in a Spanish-speaking country. Can we just call it Real Salt Lake?
Real Salt Lake, baby. Keep it real. Keep it real. Anyway, I guess that's it. Hey, if you want more great shows like this one, go to frogpants.com. It's going to do it for us, for me, for Dills, and for Terps who had to leave and catch a train. We'll see you next time. Oh, and I totally forgot to mention there will be a guild hall this year. So if you're part of the AIE guild and you're looking to have a place to hang out with the guild, we'll have that there this year at Blizzcon.
Yay!
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
I played some. Shout out to the 2 guys who bought in to play some Hearthstones with me and Jocelyn.